A 45-year-old woman in Osaka slides open her wooden window before sunrise. The city has not fully awakened yet. The streets remain quiet, the air still cool, and the only sound that reaches her is the distant song of birds settling into a new morning. She does not reach for her phone. She does not rush to check messages or headlines. Instead, she stands silently for a moment, allowing the first light of day to enter her small home. She waters a single green plant by the window, prepares a simple cup of tea, and watches the steam rise without feeling the need to fill the silence. Nothing about her morning appears extraordinary. Yet there is a quiet strength in every movement, as though she has discovered something the rest of the world has forgotten. Now imagine another morning, one that feels much more familiar. Before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already racing. Notifications flash across your screen. Emails demand answers. News headlines compete for your attention. Your calendar reminds you of everything you haven't finished, while social media quietly convinces you that everyone else is somehow doing better. The day hasn't truly begun yet. Your body is already producing stress as if you're facing a crisis. Many people believe this constant mental noise is simply the price of modern success. They search for expensive vacations, productivity hacks, or endless self-improvement techniques, hoping the next solution will finally bring peace. Yet the harder they chase calm, the sea farther it seems to drift away. The woman in Osaka would likely see the problem differently. She would not say your life contains too many responsibilities. She would say your mind contains too little empty space. In Japanese philosophy, peace is rarely created by adding more. It is uncovered by gently removing what never belonged there in the first place. For generations, ordinary people across Japan have practiced small daily habits that quietly clear away mental clutter before it grows into anxiety, exhaustion, or despair. These are not dramatic rituals reserved for monks or scholars. They are simple practices woven into everyday life designed to help the mind return to its natural balance, one small step at a time. In this video, you'll discover 8 timeless Japanese practices that can gradually transform the way you experience stress, overthinking, and emotional fatigue. Each one reveals a different path toward lasting clarity. But stay with me until secret number 8, because it contains the hidden principle that gives power to every lesson before it. Once you understand that final idea, you'll never look at peace of mind the same way again. Here is the first habit. At first glance, it has nothing to do with meditation, breathing exercises, or positive thinking. Yet, it quietly shapes the way millions of Japanese people move through their days with a calmer, clearer mind. The idea is called Kanso, the practice of simplicity. In much of the Western world, complexity is often mistaken for success. A full calendar feels productive. More choices seem like freedom. More possessions appear to signal achievement. People fill every shelf, every hour, and every corner of their lives, believing that adding more will somehow create greater happiness. But something unexpected happens. The more we add, the more decisions our brain must make. Every unread email, every unnecessary purchase, every commitment we accepted out of guilt quietly competes for our attention. Psychologists often call this decision fatigue. The brain spends enormous amounts of energy sorting through countless small choices until even simple tasks begin to feel exhausting. The Japanese approach the problem from the opposite direction. Instead of asking, "What else do I need?" they quietly ask, "What can I remove?" Kanso is not about living in an empty house or owning only a handful of belongings. It is about clearing away everything that distracts you from what truly matters. That could mean reducing unnecessary meetings, limiting constant notifications, saying no to obligations that drain your energy, or even simplifying your morning routine. Notice how a Japanese home often feels peaceful. It is not because there is nothing inside it. It is because everything has a purpose. The same principle applies to the mind. When unnecessary thoughts, choices, and distractions begin to disappear, mental clarity naturally takes their place. Try one small experiment tomorrow. Before your day begins, remove just one thing that does not truly deserve your attention. Cancel one unnecessary task. Silence one notification. Put away one object that constantly distracts you. It may seem insignificant, but small spaces create surprising changes. And once you begin creating space in your daily life, you'll discover that the next Japanese principle teaches you how to create that same space inside your mind. But once you remove one unnecessary thing from your life, you begin to notice something deeper. The real clutter is not always around you. Sometimes it is the constant rush inside you. Habit number 2 is the Japanese art of empty space. In the West, empty space often feels uncomfortable. An empty calendar must be filled. A silent room must have music. A quiet moment in line must be interrupted by checking the phone. People treat pauses as wasted time, as if every second must prove its usefulness. But the Japanese see space differently. Ma is not emptiness. Ma is the pause that gives everything meaning. It is the silence between two words, the open space in a room, the quiet breath before action. The mistake most people make is believing the mind becomes calm only when life slows down. But often, life does not slow down first. You must create the pause first. And science quietly agrees. When your brain receives constant stimulation, dopamine keeps pulling your attention toward the next small reward. Another message, another video, another task. But when you allow short moments of silence, your nervous system begins to shift away from stress. Cortisol can lower. Your breathing softens. Your attention returns. So tomorrow, practice Ma in the smallest possible way. Leave one intentional gap in your day. 10 minutes, no phone, no music, no goal. Just sit, walk, or drink water in silence. At first, your mind may resist. That resistance is the noise leaving. And when you learn to sit inside silence, the next habit teaches you how to bring that same calm into something you already do every single morning. Habit number 3 is the ritual of full attention. In the West, daily tasks are often treated as interruptions. Making coffee is something to rush through. Washing dishes is something to finish quickly. Folding clothes is something to do while watching a screen. The body performs one action while the mind is already 10 steps ahead. This is where anxiety quietly grows. The Japanese approach ordinary actions with a different kind of respect. A simple task can become a quiet ritual when it is done with complete attention. This is the spirit behind many traditional practices, not doing something grand, but doing one small thing fully. The mistake most people make is thinking peace requires a special place, a retreat, a perfect morning, a full hour of silence. But the Japanese lesson is much gentler. Peace can begin exactly where your hands are. Psychologically, this works because anxiety lives in the future, while regret lives in the past. But your senses live only in the present. When you feel warm water on your hands, notice the sound of a cup being placed down or watch steam rise slowly into the air. The brain receives a signal that it is safe here now. This is also a quiet form of Kaizen. You are not changing your entire life. You are improving one ordinary moment by one small degree. So tomorrow morning, choose one routine and do it with your whole mind. Make tea, wash one bowl, fold one shirt. Do not rush it, do not escape it, because once your hands learn how to hold the present, your mind becomes ready for a deeper kind of healing, one that does not happen indoors at all. Habit number 4 is Shinrin-yoku, the practice of forest bathing. The Western mind often turns nature into another task. People count steps, track calories, measure distance, take photos, and turn even a walk outside into something to achieve. The body enters nature, but the mind stays trapped in performance. The Japanese view is softer. Shinrin-yoku does not ask you to conquer the forest. It asks you to receive it. You walk slowly, you listen, you breathe. You allow the trees, the soil, the wind, and the changing light to reach your nervous system without demanding anything from them. The mistake most people make is believing rest must be earned. They think they can only relax after everything is finished. But in the Japanese way of thinking, rest is not a reward at the end of life. It is part of how life stays balanced. Modern research has shown that quiet time in nature can help reduce cortisol, the hormone closely linked with stress. Natural environments also support attention restoration, which means the tired mind can recover from constant focus and digital stimulation. But the shift is simple. Do not go outside to exercise harder. Go outside to soften. Walk for 15 minutes without headphones. Notice the shape of a leaf. Listen to the sound beneath the sound. Let your eyes rest on something green. Do not try to feel peaceful. Just stop blocking the peace that is already there. And when the body finally begins to relax, the next habit turns your attention inward toward the thoughts you have been carrying for far too long. By now, your body has begun to slow down. But there is another kind of weight that nature alone cannot remove. It lives much deeper, hidden inside memory. That is where secret number 5 begins. Secret number 5 is Naikan, the Japanese practice of quiet self-reflection. Many people believe that looking inward means criticizing themselves. At the end of a difficult day, they replay every mistake, every awkward conversation, every failure. Their inner voice becomes their harshest judge. They call this self-awareness, but in reality, they are strengthening guilt rather than understanding. The Japanese approach reflection differently. Naikan asks only 3 gentle questions. What did I receive today? What did I give today? What trouble did I cause others? Nothing more. Notice what is missing. There is no invitation to judge yourself. There is no demand to become perfect. Instead, the practice shifts your attention from blame to balance. Psychologists have found that gratitude changes the brain's emotional patterns by strengthening positive neural pathways, while chronic rumination activates the same stress circuits, repeatedly keeping cortisol elevated long after a difficult event has ended. Naikan interrupts that cycle. It gently redirects the mind toward connection, responsibility, and appreciation instead of self-condemnation. Tonight, before going to bed, take 5 quiet minutes. Write the answers without trying to impress anyone. Be honest, but be kind. You may discover that your day contained far more generosity than your anxious mind allowed you to notice. And as gratitude softens the heart, another challenge quietly remains. Even grateful people still struggle when life refuses to stay the same. The next secret teaches the Japanese way of embracing change instead of fearing it. Secret number 6 is mono-no aware, the quiet acceptance that everything in life is temporary. One of the greatest mistakes in modern life is believing that happiness comes from making good moments last forever while eliminating every painful one. We cling to success, relationships, youth, and certainty as though they should never change. Then, when change inevitably arrives, we experience it as failure rather than as part of life itself. Japanese culture offers another perspective. Every spring, delicate blossoms cover the trees for only a short time before drifting softly to the ground. Their beauty does not come despite their brief life. It comes because of it. If they remained all year, people would eventually stop noticing them. This way of seeing life has profound psychological value. Research on emotional resilience suggests that accepting impermanence reduces resistance to change and helps people recover more quickly from stress and disappointment. Much of human suffering does not come from pain itself, but from fighting against the reality that life keeps moving. Mono-no aware invites you to loosen your grip. The difficult season you are facing will not last forever. Neither will your worries, your disappointments, or your fears, but neither will today's laughter, today's embrace, or today's peaceful moment. Knowing this encourages you to stop postponing your life until everything becomes perfect. Tomorrow, pause for 1 minute and notice something that will never exist in exactly the same way again. A sunset, a conversation, a child's laughter. Let yourself appreciate it without trying to hold on to it. Because once you stop resisting imperfection and change, you are finally ready for the most liberating lesson of all. The next secret reveals why your flaws may be the very place where your deepest peace begins. And here is the secret most people quietly resist because it touches the one wound we spend our whole lives trying to hide. Secret number 7 is Wabi-Sabi, the Japanese habit of seeing beauty in imperfection. In the Western mind, imperfection is often treated like a problem to solve. Your home must look perfect. Your body must look perfect. Your career must move perfectly. Even your healing must appear clean, impressive, and inspiring. So people delay peace until some imaginary future version of themselves finally arrives. But the Japanese view is softer. Wabi-Sabi says that what is worn unfinished, aging, or imperfect can still be deeply beautiful. A crack does not always mean something has lost its value. Sometimes it means it has lived. Psychologically, this matters because perfectionism keeps the nervous system under constant pressure. When you believe you must always perform flawlessly, cortisol rises, mistakes feel dangerous, and rest feels undeserved. The brain begins to chase dopamine through approval, achievement, and comparison, but the relief never lasts. Wabi-Sabi breaks that cycle. It teaches you to stop turning your life into a courtroom where every flaw becomes evidence against you. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" you begin asking, "What part of me is asking to be accepted?" Tonight, choose one imperfect thing and stop fighting it for one day. A messy corner, a small scar, a mistake you keep replaying. Look at it gently. Let it exist without attacking it. Because once you stop waiting to become perfect, secret number 8 shows you how real change actually begins. Secret number 8 is Kaizen, the Japanese habit of improving through very small steps. The modern Western approach to change is often dramatic. People want a complete transformation by Monday morning. A new body, a new routine, a new mindset, a new life. They make huge promises when motivation is high, then blame themselves when the pressure becomes impossible to maintain. But Japan offers a quieter method. Kaizen does not ask for a heroic beginning. It asks for a step so small, your mind has no reason to resist. 1 minute of silence, 1 object removed, 1 breath before opening your phone, 1 honest answer in your journal. This works because the brain resists change when it feels threatening. Large goals can activate stress responses and increase cortisol, making the body feel unsafe before you even begin. Small actions, however, create gentle success. Each completed step gives the brain a small reward of dopamine, reinforcing the behavior without overwhelming the nervous system. That is why Kaizen lasts. It does not depend on excitement. It depends on repetition. It turns peace from a rare emotional state into a daily practice. So tomorrow, do not try to practice all 8 secrets. That would only create another form of pressure. Choose one. Make it almost too easy. Sit in silence for 60 seconds. Hold one thought with kindness. Clear one small space. And then repeat it the next day. Because the hidden thread beneath every Japanese habit is this: a calm mind is not built by force. It is revealed through small, quiet acts repeated with care. Take one last look at these quiet lessons. Kanso reminded us that clarity begins by removing what no longer serves us. Ma showed us that silence is not empty, but full of possibility. Full attention transformed ordinary moments into peaceful rituals. Nature invited us to stop striving and simply receive. Each practice seemed different, yet they were all pointing toward the same truth. A peaceful mind is not something you build by adding more techniques, more goals, or more pressure. It appears when you gently clear away what has been weighing you down all along. This is why the Japanese ideas of Danshari and Kaizen work so beautifully together. Danshari teaches us to let go of unnecessary possessions, unnecessary thoughts, and unnecessary burdens. Kaizen reminds us that lasting change never arrives through giant leaps. It grows quietly through one small improvement repeated with patience. Together, they reveal a simple but powerful lesson: your life changes not because you force it to, but because you create enough space for change to happen naturally. So don't try all of these practices tonight. Choose just one. Sit in silence for 1 minute. Remove one unnecessary distraction from your desk. Drink 1 cup of tea without touching your phone. That single, gentle action is enough. Small steps may seem insignificant today, but this is exactly how Kaizen works. Tiny changes, practiced consistently, become extraordinary transformations over time. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which habit spoke to you the most? And which one will you practice first? Tell me in the comments, because I read every single one, and your story may encourage someone else who is searching for a little more peace. If this video helped you see calm from a different perspective, please give it a like and share it with someone who has been carrying too much stress lately. And if you'd like to continue exploring the quiet wisdom behind Japanese daily life, subscribe and join us for the next journey. Until next time, take one slow breath, take one small step, and remember, lasting peace is never found by doing more. It begins the moment you have the courage to let go. I'll see you in the next one.